Hello everyone, and welcome back to another exciting episode. I'm cruising nicely along the Nairobi Northern Bypass, just past Marurui town. I'm just about a kilometer away from the small town, and Kahawa West is not far away. It's about 2 kilometers. In fact, the flyover you see right ahead is the road that goes all the way to Kahawa West, and that is Committee Road. And I'm looking for a way to join the overpass, since on my right is our destination, a small civilization, a town maybe, that goes by the name Githurai 44. Unfortunately, Committee Road does not have any access from the northern bypass, so I have to look for a way to join it, and I hope there's an exit ahead. Thanks the Almighty, I have just spotted it. It is on my left, but unfortunately it is the longer route, and it means that I'll have to go through Maziwa Estate, which is near Kahawa West, which is also an interesting civilization, and I'll be telling you more about it. As I told you earlier, today's destination is Githurai 44. I don't know whether you know the difference between Githurai 44 and 45. I'll be telling you more about it and where the two neighborhoods got these numbers from, since one is 44 and the other one is 45. But before we hit the neighborhood, let me take this opportunity to welcome you to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV, a channel that is dedicated to continue showcasing beautiful villages, towns, and cities across the continent. Also, make sure you show some love by subscribing to our YouTube channel. Now back to the video. I am in Maziwa Estate, near Kahawa West, and I want to join the busy Committee Road. Remember, this is the road that connects Roysambu roundabout and Kahawa West, and serves other various neighborhoods such as Githurai 44 and Zimmerman. So Kahawa West is only a kilometer away on my right, while Githurai 44 is also just a kilometer away on my left. And since you all know my destination, I'll be taking a left turn. There's a beautiful neighborhood here in Maziwa, just a few seconds from here, called Kahawa Estate. I want to give you a small glimpse of it before we hit our destination in less than a minute. It was quite unfortunate that guy in a small car was all along on a phone call and he don't know what he was doing, so I had to give way. Anyway, enough with the road shenanigans. And Jacaranda Estate is right here. The entrance is only a few meters from here. I can see it from where I sit. It is on my left. I'm told it belonged to one Jenga Karume. I'm not quite sure about it, but it's quite a heavy investment. I can also see Githurai 44 from here. You can see tall buildings right in front. It is also good to know that Maziwa area, which is Swahili for milk, maybe this is the land of milk and honey, it is part of Githurai ward and not part of Kahawa West as many would perceive. Well, Maziwa area is in a location called Kamuthi, which has a total population of 10,248 people, where 4,600 are men, while 5,648 are women. Well, I can see you have a huge gender gap right there. You have 1,000 more women than men. And remember, Maziwa is just a small area. It covers an area of about 1.1 kilometers squared. And in terms of the population density, there are 9,131 people living in a square kilometer. Well, I don't know whether you remember the overpass I just showed you a few minutes ago. It is right here. And that tells you that the northern bypass is right below us. And we have officially entered Githurai 44. Remember, this is one of the most densely populated neighborhoods in Nairobi. It is in Roysambu constituency, one of the 17 constituencies in the city. And of course, all the Kenyan tribes are represented here. But a majority of the people living here are Kikuyus. I'll be telling you more about that in a few, since I'm going to give you the numbers. But in the meantime, I'm looking for a way to get to the interior part of this neighborhood. We definitely want to see how people live, the kind of housing, and the lifestyles, whether there are businesses. And I also want to see whether this heavy population density is literally visible. Well, I think there's a small road on my left. I can see it, which I hope will take me to the interior part of this neighborhood, right deep in the residential area. And one thing I have noted so far is that businesses are thriving here. You can see people are selling literally everything on the roadside, which is quite nice, depending on how you see it. But it seems that the roads are quite narrow. Although they are tarmacked, it is a developed area as far as the social amenities are concerned. Of course, we can see nice houses, nice roads, but one thing I'm sure is that in the near future, this will be regarded as a ghetto. Well, I know that's one of the most controversial topics right there. I don't want to delve deeper into it. But so far so good. I think I like it. And as I always tells you, the higher the population, the higher the opportunities for businesses. This means that you can literally sell anything in such places and you'll get your cash by the end of the day. Whether it's food, water, grocery, or whether you operate a small chemist, maybe you rent out houses, or maybe you operate the oldest trade in the world, which is prostitution. It means that you'll make money by the end of the day. Well, I know some of my friends are asking, Mr. Lone Traveler, did you have to mention prostitution as a form of trade? And what I can say is that I'm not new here. This is not my first time here, as many places that have been visiting. And of course, I know something that a few legends and old-timers know, especially around the main road that we just left. But of course, hatutaki kuchoma sana. This is our homeland. Anyway, I don't know what you think about this area. And I don't know whether you have visited it in the past or you have lived here, or what you have heard about Githurai 44. Just tell us on the comment section below and we'll appreciate. One thing that you should note is that if you continue with this direction, the one I'm taking on this road, you will end up in Githurai 45. In fact, it is not far from here, just a walking distance. The two Githurais are neighbors. And one fun fact that I think you should know is that a big part of Githurai 45 is in Kiambu County, while Githurai 44 is in Nairobi County. In fact, at some point, the highway is the boundary. For instance, at Githurai Market along Thika Road. On your right, as you head toward Thika, that part is in Kiambu County. And on your left, that is Githurai 44, and it is in Nairobi. In short, Githurai Market and Kahawa West are in Kiambu County, while Kahawa Barracks is in Nairobi County. That was some fun facts I thought you should know. You can also add a fact or two on the comment section below and we'll appreciate. As you have seen, I have taken a right turn. I don't want to continue all the way to Githurai 45. Remember, today we are covering Githurai 44. And so I'm looking for another road that will lead me back to the main road, that is Kamete Road, as we explore the neighborhood. And as you can see, the area is super densely populated. But before I give you the numbers, I want to give you the source of the name before I forget. Legends have it that the codes 44 and 45 were Kenya bus routes. I'm sure that most old-timers can recall the KBS buses that dominated Kenyan roads in the 90s and 80s and early 2000s. That every route had a number. In fact, some towns like Kiambu, the number was 100, and I'm told that the number still persists. So if you want to travel to Kiambu and you are in Nairobi, just take Matatu route number 100. Some areas such as Gashie, the number was 108, Banana Hill 106, and Denderu 107. And so 44 was the route number for this part of Githurai, which is along Kamiti Road, while 45 was the other Githurai, which is along Thika Road. And the people from Kawangware can tell you that number 46 was their route number, which I still think it is in use today. I'm not quite sure about it, but I'm sure now you have a clue about the source of these area codes. But about Githurai, I don't know the source of the name. Neither do I know its meaning. So if you are there and you know the inner meaning, you can tell us on the comment section and we'll appreciate. Well, I want to check out the numbers. I want to see whether this physical congestion is reflected on the actual numbers, which are the statistics by the Kenyan Bureau of Statistics. And based on the recent census, Githurai 44 had a total population of 73,788 people. And if you were to add the 10,000 living in Maziwa area, which is also part of Githurai ward, the total population will be 84,036 people. That's almost 100,000 people living in a small area of 3.1 kilometers squared. That is the larger Githurai ward. But I want to concentrate on Githurai 44, which is the area we are right in, which I told you it has a total population of 73,788 people. 35,006 of these are men, while 38,777 are women. That's a gender gap of about 3,000 in favor of women. And in terms of the population density, there are 37,055 people living in a square kilometer, while the entire area measures 2 kilometers squared. That's a super crazy number. 37,000 people living in a square kilometer is not a joke. And remember, as we say, 1 kilometer squared equals to 250 acres of land. So some quick maths tells you that Githurai 44 is in 500 acres of land. That's a very small area, but a very big name. Githurai 44 is not your ordinary village. The neighborhood is also popular for being home to some of the most popular entertainment joints, especially for Mogithi music lovers. In fact, there is one popular establishment across the road. I don't know whether you can see the name. It goes by the name SNL Lounge. The entrance is only a few steps from here, on my right. And I hope you have noted that we are back to Kamiti Road. We are heading towards Risambu. And the neighboring neighborhood, it's Zimmerman. We'll be covering some part of it, although not all of it. We will do that some other day because it is just an independent neighborhood with its own unique story that needs some special attention. Remember, in the Village to Town TV, we say every village has a story. Like, for instance, in the case of Githurai 44, if you are a Kikuyu celebrity, whether a Mugithi musician, an actor, or a radio or a TV presenter, and you have not lived or performed here, you missed part of your initiation process. It is that serious, guys. In fact, there was a club a few years ago by the name Kinyumba, which was operated and owned by the Benga artist Samido's brother, who goes by the name Karis Magic. And it served as a breeding ground for most Kikuyu Benga artists. I don't know whether it still exists. I'm not quite sure about that. But if you have that information about the establishment, you can also tell us on the comment section below. And as I told you, this is Roysambu constituency, which is one of the 17 constituencies in Nairobi, Kenya. And the constituency occupies a total area of about 48.8 kilometers squared. You can see it is not that big, but the population is quite huge. In fact, it has a total population of 202,284 people. That was according to the 2009 population census. And I can tell you that 20 years later, almost 20 years later, the population has almost doubled. In case you didn't know, Roysambu has 5 wards, which include Githurai, which is Githurai 44, of course, Kahawa West, Zimmerman, Kahawa, and Roysambu. I'm told that most people living in the constituency are mainly concentrated in Githurai, Kiwanja, Njathaini, and Congo Soweto. I'm also informed that most of the residents are immigrants from other parts of the former Central Province and a small number from other parts of the country. But before 2013, Roysambu was part of Kasarani constituency. In fact, it is still under Kasarani sub-county, which has 3 constituencies in Nairobi, that is Roysambu, Kasarani, and Ruaraka. And one thing that you should note is that Kasarani sub-county has one of the highest populations in Nairobi. In fact, as far as the 2019 general census was concerned, it had a total population of 780,656 people. That's almost a million people, living in a total area of 86.2 kilometers squared. And in terms of the population density, the sub-county has 9,056 people living in a square kilometer. Comparing that with the Githurai 44 population density of 37,000 people living in a square kilometer, you can see that 44 is one of the most densely populated villages in Kasarani sub-county. Also, in terms of the annual population change, population in this area is increasing at a rate of 4% per year. I want to quickly check at the gender distribution, and I'm told that 51.2% of the total population living in the area are women, while men only make about 48.8%, meaning there are about 18,000 more women than men. And in terms of the intersex, there are only 37 in the entire sub-county. In terms of the age distribution, out of the 780,000 people living here, those aged 65 and above are only 7,316. I want to leave it at that, since I'm technically in Zimmerman. And if you have watched this far, it means that you somehow like what we are doing. So kindly subscribe to our YouTube channel, Village to Town TV. Show some love by liking the video so that it can be recommended to as many people as possible. And also smash the notification bell so that every time we post, you'll be among the first few people to be notified. Also, special thanks to Team Village to Town TV, those who watch, like, and comment in almost all my videos. I see you guys. Thank you.